So welcome to Motor Trade Mentors, and today we have got, I don't think you'll need mentoring, this chap here. He's like, I've seen you on YouTube as well. I've seen a few of your videos and they're really good. So we've got Harley Trent here today from Harley Trent Motors. So welcome, mate. We're just going to go through your struggles, if you want any advice you want from us and that. So welcome. And today we've got the legend as well, James Alford, with us.
Well, thanks for having me on as well, Dave and James. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And obviously, January blues are kicking in, but we've been very busy. But I've got some questions to ask you guys as well. So I'm looking forward to getting into this chat and see where we go.
First thing, you look right young. So how old are you?
I'm 29. I look younger, don't I?
Still young. And how long have you been doing this for?
Oh, since I was 15, 16, working for the old man from a salvage yard. So from a very young age, and flipping cars and doing salvage cars. Then, properly since I was 18 years old in the motor trade, really. Been selling cars and buying cars. So I grew into it. But I learnt the best route by obviously taking cars apart, learning what parts can cross match what, and just understanding the common faults of cars, which is definitely I brought on into the cars we sell now. Reason why I don't mind buying stuff with problems and stuff, because I can get them fixed straight away and know exactly what the cause is and save a load of money fixing it as well. And
when did you actually start Harley Trent Motors then?
Just after COVID, about 3 years ago. Was it 21 or 22 I started properly, but I was selling cars from home, years before that, since I was 18.
Yeah. So you took on a pitch then?
Yeah, I took a pitch on properly when I incorporated my company. I think it was 21 or 22. It was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And it just went from like there to just there straight away. But I've done it right from the start. So I kind of had, from home, I kind of had word of mouth that, your names carries you through, business. So ever since I started, it kind of just went from there to there, selling nice, prepped, nice cars.
And how many have you got in stock at the moment?
Oh, you don't want to know, you're going to cry. We did have 35 in stock, but we're on 30 car sales already this month. But I've got 5 to actually buy on the forecourt. That is it.
That's it.
No more than 5. If I turn around the camera, you would. It looks like we're moving out.
Oh, that would give me anxiety. That.
It's a good problem to have, because I want to start cars in and out the door, but I'm sure you guys can see the prices at the moment I'm just not paying them. I want to replace stock, but I've got to make a margin as well. Some dealers are happy to make, 500-600 quid without seeing it and no prep. So it's just not worth anyone's time.
What's the price range of your cars then?
So the obviously bread and butter is around the 10k mark is just the absolute bread and butter. But we do go up and we do go down a bit more, obviously depending on the car. But I just find, even if I'm selling cars at 20k, you make just as much out of a 10, 11k car. The turnaround's 10 times quicker, and you can buy more. Well, when you can, but not at the moment.
Magical question for you. Obviously, I know it's a bit short and straight to it. Obviously, I've done a little bit of homework and I've looked at some things here, like a bit about you guys, and it looks great. I'm not going to lie to you. Like it looks a really nice forecourt. You're in a nice location. What do you want from us? Like, I think apart from obviously you've put yourself in a position at the moment where you've got an empty forecourt and you haven't replaced it, like that sort of information we can give you.
It's not so much giving me information. It's also, we all know different parts. We're all good at different parts of our businesses, So when people come together, you learn, right, I might be doing this wrong. How can you help me? I'm struggling with the side of replacing the stock. And that's really, I'd love to, if you guys can help me out with that in some sort of way. Am I doing it wrong on the I'm only using 2 different auction sites. I'm not using any more.
Which ones are you using?
Just BCA and Motorway, that's it. No.
Yeah, so where's your closest Mannheim?
I've never looked.
Maybe Wimbledon. Is it Poole? Where's Poole near?
Dorset.
South Coast. So in Bournemouth, pretty much we are.
Yeah, so Wimbledon, I think, is going to be an nearest one.
What's Mannheim like?
Brilliant. Same as BCA, I'd say.
Yeah.
I personally prefer them. Obviously, I'm lucky because I've got one much closer to me. I just like the automation side of it. So like getting it bought online, that sort of jazz. Don't get me wrong, you can do all of those things on BCA as well. I don't know, I just feel we get treated a lot more like humans at Mannheim than you do at BCA. BCA is very like, you got to book an appointment to pick a car up, like whereas Mannheim, you can literally just rock up and go, I'm going to go and get that, and they're like, cool, you know, happy days, delighted that you come and collected it. So it's a two-edged sword, and I reckon you would be able to buy a lot more aggressively at Mannheim over where you're buying now. And also as well, you need to be afraid not to factor in a little bit of extra delivery costs. So if you've got a certain stock profile that you like, go, do you know what? There's a sale going on that's end of lease or whatever like that. A bit like some of the stuff that Dave does with the Teslas. And go, do you know what? I'm going to have 7 cars today. And you will pay more for one of them. But if you get all 7, you'll have 7 cars that you can price check against each other so they all look right. So sometimes you've got to do that when you just lick the stamp, get it gone.
The delivery comes down as well, big time. So say you get 7 cars at Mannheim. I remember we used to buy quite a few from Northampton, and we got like 6 in one go, something daft like that. And the delivery was like, I think it was like 30% cheaper.
Do you guys not think, because this is what I've been thinking about a lot since the start of the new year, do you not think sometimes we're taking margins too close to our heart, and maybe sometimes less is more? Because I've been looking at my statistics across 2 years now of books, and the months where I made more money is always the months I obviously sold more cars, but I made less margin, which means sometimes, are we being too greedy sometimes? Not greedy, but like, you know, just trying to stick to our certain margins to be able to prep the cars nicely. Do we just take a hit on that to get more stock now in this current market, or
I think you're right. So my magic number every month is like, as long as I hit 25 to 30 cars a month, if I don't even think of the margins, we're still in good profit. You know, sometimes you can get like so focused on, oh God, there's not enough margin, not enough margin, that. But then when you factor in your part exchanges, what you're getting, you factor in the momentum that you're keeping going, you're turning everything, and then, you know, you get rid of a lemon in that wave.
Are you getting any nice part exchanges? Because I just can't seem to get anything nice.
Yeah, we do. But who does your like part exchange? How do you get when you get part exchange valuations come in? Who deals with them?
So I will, but we just don't get offered them. We do get offered some, but they've always got major problems where I can't buy, or they're just really old. You know what I mean? They're like £300-400 scrap, and it's just not worth me buying for the hassle. We don't get offered anything, you know, like for like, or they're just upgrading. It's always they're changing car for a reason. Maybe that's the price point we're in. I don't know. It seems very difficult to get a part exchange these days.
Obviously, these are like we're at a stage now, like Dave said. Like I don't. There's a massive amount of stuff that we can give you. I can only give you what we would class as, we call them marginal gains. So tiny little pieces. When you add them up, they become one big piece. I think that's realistically what we can probably give you today. So on your website, on your part exchange form, obviously it's called Sell Your Car. So I'd probably say 50% of the people initially would be like, well, I just want to part exchange it. So they'd immediately wipe past that. So that might not be an option. They might not see that you do part exchanges. And on a personal level, the form to do a part exchange on Car Dealer 5 is like, it's fucking laborious. Like, you just want to put in your margin. It really is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know exactly what you mean.
People email me saying, oh, I can't do that part. Can you just get, like, they just ring us up in the end.
But don't you find a lot of people don't want to make... How many emails do we get where people inquire about a car? Why don't people just pick up the phone and give us a call and speak to us? You know, they just go on the website and just send a message.
Unfortunately, the new world is, everyone is so afraid of rejection nowadays, and they don't want to hear what the price is over the phone, so they don't want to have that awkward conversation with a salesperson. And a lot of people like to do stuff sat in their pants at home at night, not being worried by anyone. And that is our culture that we're in. Like, people hide behind a screen all the time. So the more you can do with that. So like I said, my thing's Facebook. So we do a lot of valuations on Facebook, and we'll send it direct to the customer, and it does work. But at the same time, on your website, you need to improve that side of it if you want more part exchanges.
Definitely going to take a look at that, because you know what? If someone didn't mention that to me, I wouldn't even look. Sometimes it's that sort of stuff. You just think it works, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to look at that. With auto, so this year I've changed another thing completely, because December I had time at the second half of December to sit down and go, right, what have I spent a year on Auto Trader? What have I spent a year on other advertising? And my Auto Trader bill was like 65k. So, and I looked at that, and you're looking at your bottom line, and I'm thinking, God, imagine if I could save on that a year. So I've gone to the standard package, and we've sold just as many cars as we have done, and I'm saving 2.5k a month. I'm like, wow.
Auto Trader never ever go past the standard package.
No,
like James is going to say, never even have Auto Trader.
I'm really trying. I'm really trying to be a good person at the moment and not harp on about Auto Trader. So on this occasion, I'm going to abstain and say nothing.
What do you not use Auto Trader at all, James?
2017.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. So where are your main customers coming from? Your main inquiries and stuff now?
I do a lot on Facebook. Facebook's really active.
Marketplace or advertising on Facebook?
Meta, through the Meta portal, so it's paid for advertising.
I don't know anything about that. I'm gonna have to have a look at that.
Well, that's something I will come to in a minute, because I know that you don't do it, because I can see on your Facebook that you don't advertise through the Meta portal.
I've never heard Meta portal.
Yeah, you get a little app on your phone, Business Meta, and you can boost ads properly through there. Obviously, you're more than welcome to go onto my Facebook, but like
I'm definitely gonna have a look at that.
We've ergonomically grown over the years, because we haven't paid for anything like that. So we're up to like 18,000 people now. So every time I put an advert out, even without paying for the advertising, I've got 18,000 people, but I only pay for people within an 80-mile radius of our office.
Yeah. Same what Auto Trader advertises to it. I think it's, unless you pay more, they only advertise in up to 60, 70 miles.
Auto Trader do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Which I'm starting to realise.
Sorry, I didn't say that. Retract that. I didn't say anything.
And I've only just learned all this from speaking with James and Danny Bond and that. And we've only been doing it properly since Christmas on, I'd say, Instagram. And it's just a penny sort of dropped.
The Instagram been fantastic for you, Dave?
Yeah, it's been really
I love
good.
watching his videos. I love it. I rang him up and I was like, Dave, I fucking love it. They're great. And he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'd buy a car. I almost felt myself like, going, I've got to drive all that country to have that car. And I really enjoyed it. And it isn't, and obviously it's slightly different for me, because some of the stuff that we sell, I'm not as in love with the cars as you guys are. Like, you genuinely love what you sell. And it comes across in your videos, and if you can make sure that comes across in the videos, like, you guys are really likable with it as well. So that's the part of it. If you can get a third of that into your videos, it will be successful.
It's like what you're doing with your YouTube, Harley. You know what I mean? Keep doing that, because for us, our YouTube, like, we sold a Tesla last week to this Neil from Wales, and he'd just been on that journey of, I used to think before everyone just went on Auto Trader and that was it, and they looked for a car. And I'm of the old school when I'd go. I mean, you won't remember this, James. Well, Auto Trader was a magazine, and you'd go out every week and you could buy it, and you'd trawl through it, and it was just lovely. It was such looking for them bargains. And then obviously got Auto Trader, but been doing this 12 years, and then since talking to James and Danny Bond, it's like he who gets the most attention, and that's what has clicked with me now with like Instagram and Facebook. If you can build up a following of like 20,000 people on there, that's like free advertising. Just put a car out, and the same with YouTube. Like this Neil, his journey was, I go on YouTube, see like me, Joe, James, then he's looking for a Tesla, then he sees our Instagram and he's like, oh, that's that lad from YouTube. Instantly you've got the trust of the customer.
That's
and
wicked, isn't it?
You've sold the car. There's millions of Teslas out there, but because you're putting yourself in front of the camera, that's going to be your best thing for you.
Talking about YouTube, the only reason I actually started it wasn't to be like a Joe or you lads on YouTube. It was just so I could get maybe offered a few extra cars here and there, or boost a couple of sales. I don't know. That's why the reason why we started it. But it literally, it's crazy how much engagement we had in like the first 2 weeks of customers calling us and wanting to buy a car for their daughter when they pass their test and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy. So now I've stopped it for a month where I've just been too busy, which is a bad problem to have, because it is a great tool, and I'm definitely getting back on it from the start of February. I've employed someone to do it full time, but I just couldn't believe the reach and that I wouldn't have had just from being day to day advertising Auto Trader or anyone else. YouTube is crazy.
Exactly. And like you said, James is, he's got the golden nugget where he can just do it on Facebook, which is amazing.
With the customers on Facebook, James, are they the same type of customers you get through an Auto Trader, or are they a bit different?
No. So when somebody goes on Auto Trader, they are looking for a brand of car in a specific colour for X budget, XXXXXX. The customer you'll get on Facebook, which is what I would say you would probably want at the moment, is a customer that isn't looking for that car. It bangs up on their Facebook. They look at their car that's sat on their driveway and they're like, do you know what? I deserve that and I can afford £150 a month. Why wouldn't I buy that car? And that's all you've got to put into their head. If you put a selection of things out there, like the information wise, as long as you've got how much the monthly payment is, how much the deposit is, how much the car is, you're more than likely to get those sporadic purchases of people that weren't necessarily looking for a car.
What's your cost if advertise a car that you're working out? Where Auto Traders we work out, it's can be up to £200.
Depends what you want from it, and it depends how committed you are to it. If you are committed to it, you should be spending £100 per vehicle.
God, that's a massive saving to Auto Trader.
Is that like over 7 days, James, or 2 weeks?
14. Always 14. So day 9, I think, is like where you get the most amount of traction. It's where the ergonomic stuff gets overtaken by the paid for advertising. And then by the chances at that time, you've got people that have seen it twice, or they've started to look for it twice. So that's where it really becomes magical at day 9.
What do you do if you don't sell any cars, James, from it? Do you just sit on them?
No, I just go straight on OnlyFans. No, I'll sell a car if I've had it for ages. I'll paint the wheels black, do something different with it. I don't really trade them out because I don't like dealing with other traders. Not that there's anything wrong. I don't like. I've said this in a previous podcast. I don't like trading to people that I know.
No, I get that.
Or other traders.
My rule from day one was never buy a car off a trader. I don't know why. That is because why aren't they selling it? That's what I always said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what some people do. That's what they do all the time. But that I only go with what I feel comfortable doing, and I'll look at something and I'll be like, do you know what? That's overaged. I'll either drop the price a little bit or do something different to it. Buy a couple of bits for it, do the wheels, make it look a bit different, and it always goes eventually. Like I haven't sent a car a birthday card for 5 years. So that I'm okay.
There you go.
I've got one car that I cannot sell, and I've had to take it off sale because this lovely old chap coming to our forecourt to look at the car, and he hit into the back of it. I got an A6 that I could not sell for no love or no money, and it's the nicest car in the forecourt.
What mileage is it?
It's 20-odd thousand miles, 2020 Audi A6 estate. I just don't know why. No, we've had no calls, no inquiries.
What's that priced at then?
I've got it at the good price now, 28,995.
Yeah, see, that's like you've got all your bread and butter cars there, haven't you? Then
do you know what I think the problem is with it? It's because it's not four-wheel drive.
I don't think that's the problem. I think I would class it as a drug dealer spec car. No offense. I think you just need to make it a bit more drug dealer spec. Bang a Maxton design kit on it. Do the wheels a slightly different colour. Just put something in there that makes it a bit different.
I've got the Maxton design kit. I didn't want to do the wheels black because all the wheels are absolutely perfect. But did you find, Dave, when you started doing your black packs, some of the hate comments about why are you doing black packs? And,
yeah.
You don't know what you're doing and all this.
Do you really think that I'm going to be spending all this money? Like, I want to sell the cars as is. It's not,
exactly.
It's not like I want to put a black. Like when I first seen the Tesla Aero kits, I was like, "Oh my god, these look horrific." Then we sold like 2 in a week. I'm like, "I love them. But we're selling them all the time." You know what I mean? It's like,
When I first showed people around Forecourt, I had a few people saying, "Well, I don't like the black packs. Have you got to be telling insurance companies and all this?" And I'm just thinking, we're not modifying the engine or anything. We're doing a very subtle styling that's like very minimal. It's nothing, major.
Maybe
Do you
you
know what I
take it
mean?
off then. Maybe you take the kit off it. Just make it look different. Like differentiate it. I don't know. Maybe dechrome the trims or something. Just do something different that makes it look different. Make sure the photos look they've been done in the last month or so, and just bang it out there. Even if you put the price up, don't be afraid to put the price up on a car, especially if you've had it a
Oh
little
no,
while.
see, I think this is where a lot of traders go wrong. A lot of insight, a lot I would love to give to other traders out there probably listen to this podcast. So I don't stick to Auto Trader prices at all. Very rare do I stick to Auto Trader pricing. If I did, I'd probably be out of business because those margins we wouldn't be able to do our lovely preps of the car, service, MOT, advisory free. It just wouldn't be possible. So as soon as we get a car now, I look at every car underneath, check for oil leaks, coolant leaks. I'm very OCD, and so once we've had it fully prepped, it goes on the forecourt, and then I put my markup I want on it, forgetting Auto Trader prices, and it lands into the fair price or the high price category, and we never had a problem selling a car like that at all.
that's
ever.
brilliant. That is brilliant.
I would recommend Car Gurus as well.
I've started using Car Gurus because they give you a free listing. We've actually had a couple of inquiries and sales through there, and all of our cars have said high price, which again, it just goes to show you prep your car, image it the right way, and as soon as you've got someone on the phone and you say the right things, it's not about price, it's about the car and the company, I think, nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. And what other what else are you coming up against? I mean, advertising. It's the one thing we could all talk about forever. But what else is there?
I love looking at stuff at a year end. So January is I'm like a little kid in the sweet shops. When you get to look at all your books and get the whole year summary of everything. Obviously, advertising was massive. So this year I thought, I'm not trying to save on advertising because you need to advertise to sell cars, but like put it into different areas that you may be more profitable out of, like maybe Instagram ads, which I've seen you, Dave, and Danny Bond. I couldn't believe when I was listening to Danny Bond's YouTube that he only did Instagram adverts. I was shocked.
I was.
I could not believe it.
But I'm not now. I'm not at all.
I just
No,
thought,
like, why didn't I know about this
in
year?
a way, and you think, surely not, But yeah, it goes to show, doesn't it? We sometimes need to think outside the box and do some things different. So they're just doing the normal. Oh, I'm a car dealer. We've got to be on Auto Trader. Got to be on, all these other platforms. But I couldn't believe it. But the other problems we're getting, which you would have seen in the last month or so, is that it's just the prices on auctions, isn't it? I just can't believe what we're up against.
Get yourself a Man-Arm account and just get some stuff bought. I just think you need to go in full grizzly bear, put your balls in a wheelbarrow and go for it.
Yeah.
I've changed a few things. So obviously these car supermarkets that we've obviously been against that must be paying these prices. Obviously,
Sorry to interrupt as well. We're forgetting as well, James. G3. You've got G3 up at Luton.
Oh yeah, I did G3.
It's just a bit far for me, G3.
At Luton?
Oh no, Luton. Is that new? Is it?
Yeah, they've got a new one at Luton.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought it was way up north.
Yeah. And there's some great, like Jamie Capel from Carkey, who's got a 300 car site, just buys most of his stock from G3. So I used to think myself, I can't just buy from Man-Arm, I need to buy from here, I need to buy from there. You don't, you can do it in one place if you want it.
Do Man-Arm charge you a monthly fee?
Nah.
No. Who charges you? Oh, it's Dealer Portal. No, Dealer, whoever it is, they charge you a monthly fee, don't they?
Dealer auction.
Yeah,
but you know that Dealer Auction's owned by Auto Trader, wankers.
You think they give it to you for free, how much we spend a month with them? It's an extra £80 for nothing.
Yeah, so obviously I'm in Plymouth. I went to G3 in Bedford, which is a 5-hour drive. Okay. And I went and bought 8 vehicles and I got them delivered back to Plymouth for £175 plus VAT each.
Okay.
And I probably paid 25% less for the vehicle than what I would have if I bought it locally.
No, that's good going, that.
So obviously G3 is, they are new. So there's some stuff They're not quite as slick as BCA, but they are trying. And what I would say about people like BCA, they're not fucking trying to be better. I'm not saying they're bad, but they are not trying to improve. That is not their goal.
Wood, I've never had a problem with them, so I'm not gonna, if they...
G3 is an option, Mannheim definite option, but just don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Just be like, do you know what? This is what I need. I'm going to get after it. If they all turn up at the same time, who cares? I'll make it work. It will happen. But you cannot sell empty spaces.
It's like that Audi A6 you've got, 28 grand. I'm sure you'd rather 28 grand be sat in 5 cars with like just a grand margin in them. And
5 of these one shoes that we've already sold this morning. Yeah, I agree. It's killing me inside.
Yeah, yeah. But
probably take a lovely part exchange on it as well, if your website was sorted.
I'm on, James, after this, I'm on it now. I'm wound up now. I'm on it.
So are you in contract with your website at the moment?
No, no contract at all. Just pay as you go and you can leave. And who do you use then? Are you on Click Dealer or?
I'm 67, so I've got a car centre and a van centre, and I'm just about to move the van centre over to 67. I'm a data nerd, so for the data nerds, they're the only one that facilitate my autism.
Do you use AI at all, James, in your car sales? Do you use AI?
Yeah, I can use AI.
Yeah. Have you got chatbots, like AI chatbots on your website?
No, I've got rid of them. I've changed it over to WhatsApp because it's free.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was the AI chatbots any good, or?
Yeah, I think they're all right. Danny Bond uses the chatbot stuff. I don't personally like it, but most of my guys will pick up the WhatsApp stuff in the evening anyway.
How many staff have you got, James?
9 in total.
9. Wow. Yeah. 9. And on average, how many are you turning over a month?
December was terrible, but
yeah, forget December. That's a weird month.
We've done 11 vans this month and 33 cars.
Wow. Yeah. Woo.
That's amazing.
And have you got a workshop?
Nope.
No
workshop, no body shop. I use the workshop to like hide cars basically, because like I said, I've only got space for 37 here. So I've got a little storage yard around the back, which I can see it's close enough not to forget about it. And then I just shove them all out everywhere. Some of them I leave at the auction. So I've always got this constant train coming in. Like I think at the moment I've got 9 vehicles that haven't arrived yet, and 4 just across the way at Salt Ash Auctions that I need to collect. So I know that it's always coming in, but a lot of people say don't advertise them with the auction photos. I don't care.
Oh no, I don't know why people do that. The BCA photos, no, it's a no-no in my book.
I do it. I love it. We sell it. We a lot of the time we sell it for it's even gone.
I get that, but people see it from an auction, though, don't they?
But like you know how to use AI. You're switched on little fella, so you know.
Oh, are you using that? Where you cap it? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. You can change the background, and you could even like superimpose it onto your forecourt, like with the new AI stuff. But
you can get the data as well from the car. You can get the data, if it's going to sell quick or not.
The reason I never advertise before a car lands is because imagine some people just turn up and they go, "Where the car?" and then you're on the back foot straight away. So I've stopped doing that. Well, I never did it. I did do it once, and I was like, I'm always on the back foot.
It depends, though, doesn't it? So at the minute, because you've got no cars, like we're the same. We've got like 5 free slots on Auto Trader. So I just put a load of cars from the auction on the pictures that are coming in soon. Because I hate having empty slots on Auto Trader.
Have you put the picture of the car on the auction or just coming soon?
No, the actual car at the auction.
From the auction, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, what, you've edited it into like your showroom or something?
No. Just
just
the car.
as they are.
Yeah,
okay.
If someone wants a car, you know what I mean? They don't. The amount of cars that I've sold from just an auction picture over the years is
really
incredible.
Yeah.
maybe I'm gonna have to rethink that. If 2 of you are saying that's good, because I like all my images to match. You see, with the logo in the background and the cars are all prepped and clean, and how I want to image them with the wheel turned.
Yeah.
I get it. It's painful to sometimes go a little bit against the grain, but at the same time, if you've got targets, so like say for example in January, you're like, do you know what? I'm going to do 50 cars. I'm going to do it by hook or by crook. Sometimes it's going to be a case where you've got to do stuff that you feel a little bit uncomfortable with to get where you want to go, and that could be your year difference. You could walk into February fully stocked and have done 50 units just by putting some photos of some cars online. You could take a deposit on that car before it even lands, because you might have somebody that's looking for that specific car, that mile, that spec, and you can go, do you know what? Look at our reviews, look at our reputation. This is us, all right? You want to buy from us, it's coming in. This is what we'll do to it. Why wouldn't you buy from us?
Exactly.
100%. But I've been prepping cars, pretty much ready to drive away, which is, I think, helped as well with the turnaround of cars, especially if they've got like a little oil leak that needs fixing or stuff like that. Because the amount of cars I'm getting, it just needs something fixing. It's every single car. As soon as I've got it on the ramp, there's something that needs fixing, whether it's a coolant leak, an oil leak, disc pads, tyres. It's just absolutely crazy at the moment. You never get that car.
If it's made its way to auction, somebody's stopped loving it at some point and they started loving another car. So you're realistically going to have to accept that everything's going to have some sort of issue. Some of it will be plain and simple, some of it won't. And some of it will be fucking expensive. But that's what we do.
Are you guys making any money out of warranties? That's one thing I want to ask you as well. I'm obviously, where our margins are starting to get tighter and tighter in this. I don't know if it's just this current time of year where everyone's busy and we're all fighting for stock, so we're just throwing silly bids out there, especially on motorway and stuff like that. Has anyone had to think about changing their warranty price to actually make a margin out of the warranties and just obviously sell everyone a warranty?
After doing a podcast with Sheik last year, that just completely changed my mindset. So we do a customer care package.
I watched that video as well, and I mentioned it to my colleague. We thought, well, that's a good idea. But we would want to trial it first to see what people's reactions were.
Well, we've done 3 already. Saturday we done one at 500.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We've done 2 at 300. And I was of the ilk of, oh God, who wants a warranty? But they're all self-funded as well. So we use BAA. We pay 20 quid. They take the telephone calls. And, if there's anything major, just get back to us and we'll fix it. That's it.
Have you got different levels of care package then, have you?
Yeah, so we do free, which is just like, a minimum warranty. Then we do, silver, which is like $299. We give them 10 litres of fuel. Gold, 300. I thought 300, and then premium 500.
Want a courtesy car or something?
Oh yeah, and that was the main reason I done it, because do you know what it was? I was fed up of customers coming back and just expecting a courtesy car. Like, where's my courtesy car? And I'm thinking, $7,000 a year we pay in insurance, and people just expect a courtesy car. So
courtesy car insurance has gone crazy, isn't it? It really is one of them.
Yeah. So if they get the free customer care package, it doesn't have courtesy car cover on it.
And is your salesman pushing those care packages, or they're just going, right, here's our care packages, have a read. If you want one, then we'll be happy to sell it.
Yeah, we do that. We just do it on WhatsApp Business. We just send it on WhatsApp Business when they put the deposit down, and then we go, look, you're picking the car up in a few days. There's the customer care package. Let us know which one you want, and then when they turn up, like say, I think 3 or 4 have took it in the last week.
Have you had any comments, any bad feedback from customers about that, or not at all?
No. Because when they go to a main dealer, they're just getting hammered with all different stuff, aren't they? Warranties, paint protection. And it's it's good value as well. We're not just asking money for
that does sound cheap.
We put a bit of fuel in it as well, and we give them £200 off the next purchase.
Does anyone know what car supermarket is charging for warranties? Someone told me on the phone the other day. It's ridiculous, like £900.
£899.
The markup on that's crazy.
Yeah, so we do a 3-month in-house pot-funded warranty initially, and then we use AutoGuard to do. They do a 15-month warranty for 425 quid. And for the kind of cars that we sell here, like, that's, 15 months for 425 quid. It's absolute value.
That is value, yeah. Our 12 months 299.
Yeah, well, it's easy for the guys to sell it. It's not, there's no trouble. And I don't really push them. They are incentivized to do it, but I don't really push them, because a lot of some of the stuff that we do, because obviously Plymouth isn't as affluent as some of the areas further up north, some of the finance that we do, they've only got their £200 deposit. So sometimes it's a case of we can either try and factor it into the finance one way or another, or they'll scrimp and save to make sure they can get it.
On that note, how many 0 deposit finance deals have you guys done? It seems to be more than ever at the moment.
We don't do it.
We don't.
No,
We don't like
If they can't
doing
afford,
that.
if they
You
can't
don't do
afford
it
the
at all?
first payment in a deposit or more than what the first payment is, we won't do it, just because it's basically asking for a boomerang customer. And what will happen is you've got like 35, 40 days with some of them. Like, they won't make a payment for like X amount, at least a month. They'll have collected the car, and then bang, when that first payment comes out, it becomes real to them. So that's the point when they try and throw the car back, or they throw the toys out the pram. They ring you up going, I've spent £5,000 on a car. Well, so you haven't. You've signed some paperwork and you've made your first payment, and it's not very nice. You haven't come to terms with it. So that's why we ask for a deposit, for two reasons. Obviously, we try and qualify them as a customer that can afford the finance, because if you can afford to pay that amount before you've picked up the car, then you can afford the monthly payments. So it's just a bit of longevity for us. We used to deal with some finance companies that were, all they used to do was just bang down our door with 0% stuff, and then 2 months down the line, the customer's made 2 payments and they want to back out of the car because they can't afford it.
touch wood, I've never had that, but I know exactly what you mean. If they've got no commitment with a not deposit sometimes, but then I guess how can we say no to a customer that wants to do that when we offer it?
We don't offer it.
Oh, you don't offer it at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like a minimum of £199 administration fee. So you've got to pay something
Right.
up
Fair
front
enough. Yeah.
to us to show that you're committed. And also as well, like if we go and get that car ready, or there's some bits and pieces that you want us to sort out on it, we need a commitment from them, and signing a bit of paperwork which they can back out of in 14 days. It's no real commitment.
Yeah, we take a deposit. If someone's doing we'll take a non-refundable deposit if the deal doesn't go through or they change their mind, always. But I know exactly what you mean, because obviously, just in case you prep the car, and they turn up, and we've had this before for those finance companies, the bad ones, or like bad credit. They can't pay, or there's some delay with payment, and the deal ends up going south. And you think, just done all that work.
Yeah.
I could have sold the car 4 times. We lose revenue, don't we, on that? It's a pain, isn't it?
The time you've spent as well with that customer, that's the biggest pit. You just want them to take the car, don't you? I wouldn't worry too much about finance in that price range. But however, like James, you do. How much of yours is finance, James?
Flicks between 50 and 80%.
Right, so there you go then.
So
Are you doing a lot of finance, Dave? Because obviously you've gone a bit higher value now as well, so you must be doing loads.
Since we've focused on Instagram, I know it's only a month, but the finance enquiries on there is unreal. So I sort of understand now why James gets so much finance penetration from Facebook. I think that's what James is saying. Like, when people see that payment on Facebook or online while they're watching the telly, they then think, oh, God, I need a new car. Well, on Auto Trader, they're just searching for a car.
one less deliverer a week, I can have my lovely Mercedes from Dave.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the first car to do a TV advert then?
Oh, none of us, that's for sure.
No.
I'm not allowed near a telly.
Social media is better than TV, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
$2.99 a month, someone on the telly, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
That's it. But you know what? Even I'm getting sucked in by it. We've got a Tesla. A minute we took in Part X, and it's like £1,000 down and £238 a month.
It sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds great.
You could not have got that a few years ago. It would be like, I don't know, whatever.
They're great value cars now, aren't they? Especially all of that stuff's just dropped in value. Anything electric Range Rovers, they seem to be selling quick because they're all better value, aren't they?
Now was the time to clear up with all that type of stuff.
Buy this microwave for £230 a month.
I reckon Joe would be the first on the TV advert. I just got a feeling. I've got a feeling.
You reckon? Oh.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We've got the car buying. What else have we got then, Harley?
So struggles. People being dishonest is one of them with part exchanges. That's another thing. Even though we like to look over cars, but how do you say to someone when they're parked in the car, are you telling us that your clutch is juddering and this? How many people do we get that are just dishonest lately?
It's just part of the job. Just got to accept it.
But if we were dishonest the other way around, it's
we get hammered.
Slap the wrist, wouldn't we? We'd have slap wrists.
I don't think it's as bad now. How do you work it, James, with your part exchanges? Do you get them all inspected?
I train my guys a little bit differently to how I've got a little bit of I think down in Devon you can be a little bit more blasé with how you speak to the customers. You know, like if the car smells like AIDS, tell them it smells like AIDS. You know, like
I'd love to say that.
it's, you know, like if AIDS had a smell, your car is it. Like it's hit every fucking corner. Like, how did you miss all of that? And you told me it was mint. I was goes, well, you know, I've serviced it every year myself. I was like, great, where's the paperwork? And they'll be like, oh, but I've done it myself. Well, it's got no fucking service history then, mate. Like, that's exactly how it is. And unfortunately, down this end of the world, people don't tend to look after their cars as much. And we do end up with a lot of Cornwall. Anything from Cornwall comes with a lot of hedge rash, bumps, dings. But they think it's mint. This is what annoys me. I'm like,
It'll
mate,
polish
your car
out.
is
That's a good one.
fucking
It'll
hanging.
polish out.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? And, like, they get out of it with, like, muddy boots, and they come into our office, and I'm like, mate, it's not a building site. Like, and then dog hair everywhere. Like, they're like, oh, you know, I've owned it from new. And I'm like, oh, no.
James, you know, when you first started this job, were you sort of like, oh, everyone looks after the cars, like, I'll look after my car?
No, absolutely not.
I used to think that. And then when I started delivering cars to people's houses, and I'd go into the house and see, you'd be like, you know, you'd wipe your feet on the way out. And I thought, well, bloody hell, what are they going to be doing to the cars?
My relationship with how people treat their cars started when I was 18, 19. And I always used to find that the really attractive girls that I was chasing around at the time, their cars were fucking disgusting. And you get in it and they'd be like, fuck knows what fluids there were everywhere. Like makeup all over the steering wheel, hair bands everywhere. Like the passenger footwell would be full of like Madonna's wrappers, and you'd be like, bottles, but then they get out of the car and they look fantastic, and you're like, you fucking tramp.
I was in my missus' car the other day, and I've just had a load of makeup done on my hands. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
They walk out and they look great. I'm thinking, how have I
It's
all
all
of this on me?
It's all over the gear stick and the steering wheel.
Or you get one with cream interior and they've had false tan on, and it's like all over it's just ridiculous.
Fucking
But
brilliant.
then old people are just as bad, you know, and they've got all that flaky scalp on their head, and there's like flake all over.
We had one of them the other day, and he was cleaning it. It's quite funny.
You just know an old person's had it, because there's like.
Do you get involved with the selling, Dave, at your place a lot, or?
A little bit, but not loads. I have done the last couple of weeks. I've enjoyed it actually. I've realised that I do actually need to get back into like selling a couple of cars.
Do you get into like the numbers of your business? Like sit down and go, right, we need to take more margin out of a car, or
If you look on my channel, we've got a video quite popular with like traders called How to Make a Profit. It's really good, and it shows how I separate all my bank accounts. So, you know, when you're about your margin, so say you've got £1,000 margin in a car, I put 20% in a VAT account, 10% goes back into a stock account, and I leave like 50-60% of my overheads. So that fit me. I don't go, I'm not like Danny Bond. Danny Bond's more like he wants to know, you know, every little inch, where I'm a little bit more, as long as I've got a good idea of where everything's going, I can sort of sleep at night.
So I've been seeing you on your YouTube, which I love, by the way. It's just like The Office. I love it.
Oh,
it's fantastic. Like the filming's great. When you're putting these kits on cars, like we do a bit here, like your black, do you then charge more for the car, or are you just going for the same price?
Depends. I tend to put them in fair price for a couple of weeks.
I've always said to myself, if I'm making the car better, I should always charge more than obviously you want to make a markup for putting the nice black pack on. Otherwise, it's pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, because our trader doesn't know that you've put that black pack on. You know, it could, like, say, it could just be like a silver Merc, couldn't it? You know, and it still says 20 grand. Like, we've got this Tesla Y, and that looks unbelievable with a black pack on. And the views on it are amazing, but nothing, not a phone call. So sometimes you just got to reduce them.
What have you experienced? I've never sold a Tesla. I'm yet to get into that electric market. But obviously, I know at some point I'm going to have to bite the bullet. What is it like selling these electric cars?
Oh, I love them.
A dealer's never done one.
I'm like, you know, I'm not a car man. Like James is like, he's He's a race driver. He knows all about. Look at his face there, 'cause we're talking about electric cars. But me, I love them because all you do is change tyres on them and do.
I guess, James, have you actually sold an electric car, James, or you stay clear like me?
I've had one experience. I bought one for my wife. I bought her a BMW whatever they are, the little small ones, tiny little ones, and I bought her to go to and fro work.
Oh, i3, is it?
That's it, yeah. Fucking absolute bag of dicks. It's fucking horrible. Like, and the accelerator is like a light switch, so like when you take your foot off it, you fucking slow down, and then you go anywhere, or like it's cold and the range changes. Yeah, she ran out of charge at like 25 miles away, and she was like, "Oh, can I get a recovery truck?" I was like, 90% of recovery companies won't put an electric car on the back because it's either too heavy or dangerous. They're like, "Nope, thanks very much." And then the AA rocks up with a diesel generator and fucking plugs it into the car. What's the point?
It's still fossil fuels, isn't it?
I
In
know,
some
but-
way, isn't it?
See, like, all this, and in the comments there'll be loads of people saying, yeah, James is right, the shit, and all this. But you know, like, nobody likes change. It's a fact.
No,
As
I get
I'm
that.
getting older, I don't like change.
We all have to change at some
But
point.
my personal situation is, right, I live in Sheffield and Newcastle, so basically I'm in Sheffield like 4 days a week, and then I come up to Newcastle 3 days to see the kids. That electric car is saving me about 100 quid a week in fuel. You know, for me, it's the best thing ever. And because I've been sat in them so long, I've started to really like them. But I was the same as James at first. I was like, I'll never sell one of them. The rubbish, the this, the that. But once you've got it, it's like, oh God, this is brilliant.
I won't change. My family's got them as well, and I just say, off you fucking your milk float. I'd rather walk.
Have you had any major problems, Dave, with them or not?
No, none. Not touch wood. None. No, the only problem you have with them is suspension arms. But you just buy like a special tool for it. Costs
Oh, you got to have a special tool. Oh, okay.
300 quid to fix them.
So, but what happens if they want to take it to their garage and they don't want to work on them? The only options to bring
But
it back?
we've just fixed them. We've said, oh, look, get it back here, we'll fix it. And we had to buy this special tool to fix it. But the part itself, like 300.
From watching your video, I see you've opened the workshop yourself to obviously got a mechanic in there. Is that going well?
Yes, but it's only been like 2-3 weeks in, but it's the best thing I've ever. I can't believe I didn't do
Stress-free,
it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it took so much stress off. You know, with the warranty stuff, it's just been amazing.
Oh, we all get. We've had a lot of like silly warranty claims. We had like an xenon bulb going, an A1. We had, oh god, now I got to remember, xenon bulb going in A1. We had something like a water leak in a boot that we both fixed. But I remember the thing you spoke about this xenon pack thing. Where he took it to, wanted 500 quid just for the ballast, not the bulb. I searched the part number on eBay and got a brand new one for 25 quid and fitted it myself.
There you go. That's it. And that's the thing with having a workshop. It's like, get the car back here. You know, Friday night, a bloke who bought this transporter off us. He's like, oh, I've took it to my garage and they want $3,000 for all these bits doing. I said, look, just get it back here.
Oh.
And I'm not saying it's going to be on the warranty, but let us have a look. It's not going to be $3,000. So that, for me, would you like to get a workshop?
No, obviously the garage I use mechanics. I just can't. When I'm looking at the invoice, so I look at it as a year of my invoice I spend in the garage. I couldn't get. If I had to pay, a couple of mechanics to keep up with the work, it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah.
And they've got all the equipment, all the tools. I drop a car down to them, when I want, in a day it's back to me, and they've done it absolutely perfect, the job. I'm very lucky to have them as a garage, but we've had them since day one. So, I'm lucky in that sense, but you've got to pay holiday if you have staff, and I just worked out over the course of 3 years now, it wouldn't be worth having a full-time workshop.
Yeah. For me, for just the enjoyment of the job and the control aspect, that's why I needed it.
But I look over the car, so we have a ramp next door, so I'd say what needs to be done, so I'm not, in that way, I'm saving a lot of time.
So you put it on the ramp yourself then?
Yeah, next door, every car, as soon as I get it in, I test drive it. And I'll have these little T cards. I make notes if there's any pulling on the suspension, knocking noises, and then I'll write it on the T card, take it next door to the ramp, and I'll then do an inspection.
Where did you get that from? The T card? I need to get a T card system.
The T card system is your brain. I love it. I've always used it since day one. It's fantastic.
Do you use that, James?
I used to, and then you let other people start getting involved in it, and that was the moment when I realised I was autistic, I think. Somebody else touched it, like moved something around, it wasn't in alphabetical order and price order, and I was just like... So,
but the T cards is vital for me. So every time I spend money on that car, I write it straight down. So when I go to advertise that car, I'm know for 100% certain I'm not losing money just from not keeping track of costs, and that's why I love it.
Yeah. So everything that gets done on there, like discs, pads, goes on the T card.
Goes on the T card. But also, remember us dealers fall into that trap where we're desperate to get cars online. We haven't prepped it, or let's just say, which we all do. And we've washed it clean because it looks nice, the car. And then imagine you've priced it to sell really quick and you don't realise it needs £600 of work. Then we've just priced ourselves, out of the water. So that's why I always quickly do a quick inspection first and then go, right, that's going to need disc and pads. I'll put the price up a tiny bit just to warrant the fact that I'm going to do the disc and pads and this and that. And that's what really works for me. And that's why, I make it very profitable at the end of the year, because I feel like when I used to work for car dealers, they always used to fall in that trap. We need cars online straight away. Haven't realised it needs, oil leak fixing, disc pads, tyres around, and their margin's gone to like £200. It's not really, viable, is it?
It's easily done, and you've obviously got a nice little system in place that avoids that. But unfortunately, now you put yourself you're a victim of your own success, where you become so fussy you can't buy. So that, if anything, that's what you got to work on. The other thing I was going to mention as well is, obviously I've had a look on the website, and from my experience, a lot of people like to shop by because do you do much finance?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot. Well, I worked out from this year after, because I asked every customer now how have they funded the car. I think I've got a statistic. I have to bring my diary out. It was like 90% of the car that's been bought from us has been financed in some way.
Yeah, so the money's been borrowed.
Yeah.
So on the website,
finance deals we do without third party is probably like 65%.
Okay. So do you charge an admin fee for that?
No admin fees.
We don't, but I think we should.
Yeah, you need to charge an admin fee if it's a third-party thing. But what I was going to suggest, if you can, obviously depending on which website you choose or if you stick with those guys, is you need to have a search button by monthly payment. And that's one of the busiest... It's one of the busiest things on my website. So you've got...
I'm glad you said that.
150, 200, 250, because what you do is you can just go, I've got £150 a month budget, and it will only show you the cars that are automatic, £150 budget.
No, I'm glad you said that, because when I was doing my December roundup and thinking, what can I improve in the new year? That did come across my brain, but I never wrote it down. And now you've remembered
that's on Jamie's website as well, isn't it? On Car Key.
Yep.
Yeah, because I seen it last night where it says I've got 150, 200, 250.
It makes all the difference. It makes all the difference.
I'm definitely the amount of points I've taken down from. You can probably see me coming out of the camera. I've written down so much stuff already. It's unbelievable, because you can't. You can. Everyone's good in different sectors of their business. When you come together, car dealers, which I think this podcast is fantastic. You learn a bit. You take the best bits out of everyone. Don't you?
You always get something, don't you? You always get something.
You take the best bits out of everyone. You've got to be a good listener to take the best bits out of everyone. That's.
So I've got some more questions. I'm not done yet. Right. So, obviously, I see that you're busy, and I know that you work a lot. So, have you got another salesman in there as well?
Yeah, I've got number 2. No, he's number 1. You can hear me. Yeah, I got Matt, who's worked for me now for a long time. He's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so he mainly gets involved with all the sales, where I don't.
So I noticed you're open 9 a.m. till 6 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
Do you alternate that at all?
If we've got a viewing, we try to be appointment only for after 5:30, but I'll stay on at any time for a customer. If they call me and they want to come at 8, I'll be here.
Because obviously there's something you've got to work out for long quality of life, and Dave is a massive advocate of quality of life.
Yeah,
and
that's something I've neglected. And
pushing that onto the salesman makes a difference as well. So we actually, not that it's the right thing to do, because I used to get quite a lot of information off. I don't know if you remember Dan Kirby that used to have Trade Price Cars. He was always super helpful because I felt like we were stuck. I felt like we were working too much, but we weren't open when we needed to be. So we changed it up. So I get the salesman in now from 8:30 until 4:30, and then one person does 10 till 6. And then whoever's working on the Saturday has the Wednesday off, and then we open 9 till 5, and we shut Sundays. And shutting Sundays was the best decision we ever made.
Yeah, we don't come in Sundays now. It's unless I got someone on the phone and I say, look, I'll happily come in on a Sunday, no problem for me, because I'm always here to take people's money. That's how I've been born.
But you've probably changed that to appointment only then, because at the moment it says you're open.
Is it? What, on my website?
I think so. Is that or online somewhere?
I think that's Google, isn't it? That might be Google.
No, it says Sunday 9 till 2.
I'm changing that, is it? I need you to come in here, James, do an audit. Come on.
I was a little bit anxious when because I did a little bit of due diligence last night as to because I wanted to know as much as I could about you before I and sometimes it's quite difficult us giving information because me and Dave only know what we know. Like we can only share with you what we've experienced ourselves. So we're not. We are experts to some extent. You're
don't more know experts than me. I'm still very new to the game as such. I know I've been working with my old man since 15, 16, but I'm still learning. I'm not learning.
You never stop learning. And I've just learned something from you there, Harley, where you say you prep the cars and then you put your margin on top.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh God, darn it, why don't I do that?
Since obviously we were talking about this, going to saving some money on Auto Train, so I've been using their boost button, where it costs you 35. James will even go mad at me now. But every time I press the boost button, I seem to sell a car. Why is that?
I've never done it before in my life. I don't want to give them any more money.
I don't know, because it works.
What it is, it's coded in. It says gullible wanker. And then you press the button,
I'll
and you're like,
it.
"Oh fuck, it's a car. We'll pop it to the front." You fucking gullible wanker.
They've got me on a sixpence, haven't they? They've literally shaken me like that.
It's like back in the day with eBay.
No, they're turning you upside down and emptying your wallet. That's what they're doing.
I believe my account manager thought, oh, he's genuine. I'll go on to the super package, like 5.5K, 6.5K a month. And I thought, God, we're doing really well out of that. I'm just going to stay on it. And I got onto that cycle of just staying onto it because we're doing well out of it. Because I thought, you had that fear then, if I change it back to the standard package, I'm not going to sell any cars. That's what I thought, January, we're just going to try it because we're always busy. We're always running out of stock. I thought, I'm going to try it. And it hasn't changed one bit.
It's like heroin. It's like they're just trying to get you on the crack.
Have you tried it, Dave, those extra packages?
I don't know. I don't want to pay them any more money.
Have you tried it, Dave?
No.
Have you done?
Spend the money somewhere else.
Yeah. Like today, I'm going to put it down to 30. Like I've been on 40 cars advertised for 6 years. And now I'm going to put it down to 30 because I want to put that extra money into Facebook and Instagram.
You've got 30 cars in stock at the moment, have you?
No, I've got 30 advertised.
Oh, 30 advertised,
and we owned about 50. Yeah.
Oh, you got 50 in stock?
Not at the minute because we've sold quite a few last week. But I try to have 50 to 60. That's like...
Surely if you've got 50 in stock, you should be selling like minimum 40 cars a month, eh?
I don't know if it's where we are. It's like...
Okay.
Do you know, we've had a terrible last 4 months where we've struggled to hit 20 a month.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because it's all more expensive cars. I've just bought the wrong cars, but I feel like I've got the momentum going now. And
do you know what? We ticked over just 500 cars for the year, but if you look at my first half of the year to the second half of the year, it was completely different. As in the amount of cars we sold. The first half of the year was, I think it was almost double what we sold in the second half of, the end of the year. But it was very strange the second half of last year. For
me, it's a feast and a famine, this job. But James has got it, I think, down to a T because he just keeps the momentum going. And I think that's what you're doing as well. And it's what I need to do. I've been in a transitional period where I've went selling bread and butter stuff to like more expensive cars.
I tried the more expensive stuff, and I just found it does sell, but I actually don't prefer it at all.
It's a lot of money tied up in one car, and you could have that in 4. I don't know. Like my favourite kind of car is a soul car. So like I don't care what it is.
I like that.
Margin in it.
I like that.
It's my favourite kind of car. Okay. Well, maybe a race car. I'll take a race car over that. But I think you got all the stuff that you need there to make it magical. Have you got like a target that you want to do? Is there somewhere you want to be? Is there something that you want?
I've sat down with my old man who's successful in his own right, and he mentors me a lot, which is absolutely fantastic, because I probably wouldn't know I wouldn't be as successful as I am today without probably having half the knowledge from him. But his target is I should be selling 100 cars a month. Why am I not doing it? And I think when we sit down and have a realization is quality over quantity. I don't want to be a car supermarket, because I just think sometimes that's just being a busy fool, unless you are a car supermarket, obviously. So realistically, what I want to get to is I'm happy just to do 50 a month, and I don't want to do any more. If I can
That's a lot.
to 60,
50 is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
50 is a lot, and then you've got what everyone always, especially when they're like, obviously, I'm not saying you guys are in your infancy, but in the first 3 years, everybody forgets that if you sell 50 cars a month, you've got 250, 300 cars at one point out in warranty. And everybody forgets that.
Yeah.
Touch wood, I don't get many problems, and I think that's half the way we prep them, but it is a bit of bad luck when you get something go wrong anyway, but we get it fixed. I fix it straight away. If someone's got a problem, bring it to us, take it to a garage, fix, because I just take, that's the attitude I have towards it, and it seems to work.
I think you've been lucky so far. I think you
probably.
like something will come about, and it will. Sometimes some things happen, and you're like, absolutely no way. Like I think we had a conversation about it last time where we've had cars in before, and I've even driven the car myself, and I'm like, do you know what? That's an absolute minter.
Yeah.
2 hours later, get a phone call. Something's happened to it on the A38.
Oh, I've had that.
And we've sent stuff out that we're like, oh, it just doesn't quite feel right. Never seen it again. But it's just. It's just how it goes. So
maybe we've just been lucky with some of the customers you sell them to. Like we had the Nissan Micra gearbox, which I think I talked about. Went at Christmas, and I thought, oh god, this is going to be the first car I've refunded this year, because I offered her money back, thinking she was going to take it, because there's no way I was going to fix it, 2 days before Christmas or wherever it was. And she said, no, I'll happily let you fix it. And as soon as it come the new year, 2 days we had it fixed. So sometimes, as long as you're confident that you can fix something, the customer's willing to stand by your knowledge that you're going to fix it and fix it right, isn't it?
As long as you always do the right thing, that's the main thing. I think for me as well, it's not about how many cars you sell a month. It's just look, this is a game. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you get a 50, you'll want to sell 60.
Oh no, I don't spend any time at all. Since my daughter was being born, I've always been at work. Like I work 7 days a week, and I've had to stop Sundays because it's just I haven't even had a holiday with my daughter. I was supposed to go away December, and it was too busy where I didn't bother.
No, you need to be with your little girl. Like the reason I done this job was so I could spend more time with my kids.
I think you should turn off the lights on a Sunday, 100%.
Definitely. No, I have done. I've had to, because it's just taken the toll.
But I think you need to make sure the internet knows that the lights are off on Sunday as well.
Yeah, I need to do that. But the thing is, I just can't turn it away. If someone calls me, I want to go in. I can't say no.
I get that, but at the same time, it's the dangerous thing. Like you're still young, so I get it. But the dangerous thing is, if you work on a Sunday, you don't go into Monday with that same, fucking let's have some of it this week,
That energy.
If you worked on the Sunday, and the weeks start to merge into themselves, before you know it, you're saying no to small trips away, holidays. You're like, oh, the wheels are turning. Sometimes on Sunday, like for me, my phone's always on, so I'm always taking calls from the office, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. But we always shut on a Sunday, so I know that my phone's not going to ring and nothing's going to happen. I get 1 day a week where it's off, and then whoever is around me gets 100% of me, and that's really important for the people around me and myself. So obviously, given the opportunity, I'd sit in my pants and watch football.
Yeah, 100%. Love to do that.
The rest of it, like, it's people do want to go out and do nice things, and the kids,
You'll
they
just
want to do
burn
stuff.
yourself out. You'll burn yourself out.
I have. You're not seeing the bags under my eyes constantly. I'm knackered
It's not that
24/7.
bad. But we've done a video with my landlord. Go on the channel and see it. It says something like used to sell 250 cars a month. He's 78 now, so he's the chap that I pay the rent to every month. And he came down one day and I said, "Oh, can you get on the camera and we'll just do a little chat?" And I just asked him all the stuff, about being a car dealer and like what did you regret? And he said, "Oh, just working too much." He said, "I used to go down to Bristol to get cars." He was selling 200 cars a month, and he's like,
200 cars. Wow, that's
he
crazy.
was like, "It doesn't matter now, does it? Like, I didn't spend any time with my kids. I didn't do all the your kids just want your time. They don't want like iPads off you and presents. They just want your time.
That's
So
my missus has been drumming that into me. Trust me.
How old's your little one?
She's a year and 3 months, so 15 months.
Yeah, they'd be happy with a fucking cardboard box. Like money's irrelevant to them. So yeah, like a bit. As
Yeah,
much
oh,
time as you can.
100%. But the thing is, I've just bought a new house and stuff, so you want to work as hard to pay for all of that and stuff, don't you? So that's the thing, isn't it? Dave, did you come from I know you were a DJ, obviously, but did you work for any car dealers before you
no,
come?
mate, I had no clue about cars.
You took the leap and jumped straight
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I thought, what else am I going to do? There
Wow,
was, there was
fair play.
there was nothing. I just went down the auction and bought a couple of cars, and that was it.
And did you find that? Because I always say to people when because I had a lot of messages from YouTube saying I'm not in car sales. Well, God, you'll learn the hard way quick with car sales because, did you learn it quick?
No,
when
no,
when
it
you
was
were buying
better
cars?
because I was, I was an ignorant fool. The
Yeah,
amount of
yeah.
cars I saw with dodgy gearboxes, slipping clutches. I didn't have a clue.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like I didn't know what a slipping clutch was. God's honest truth.
Really?
I
Wow.
must,
Yeah.
I must have sold so many Honda Jazzes with the gearbox had worked.
Yeah, yeah.
You
The
know what I
auto
mean?
one.
And I just thought that was part of an Honda Jazz. So ignorance was bliss for me.
That's quality. I bet some people just. I thought they just had to believe you.
This is the thing, like I spoke to a mechanic the other day and he was like, I said, "Why didn't you sell cars? Like, why don't mechanics sell cars?" And he's like, "It's because I know everything that goes wrong with them, so I give myself analysis paralysis."
And a lot of them are socially retarded.
James, how did you start, James? Obviously, you've been going ages now. Well established.
Oh, Christ, here we go. So I have a confession. I used to be a mobile phone salesman.
Nay.
That was my very
Nay.
first.
What are those CD Blakes say?
Way better than that. And I did it in the OG days. So when it was, we had a company down our way called Jag Mobile Phones, and we would be out in the street,
Jag.
street fighting people. When they say I haven't got a phone, we're like, "What do you use? A cup and a string?" And weird, the worst chat up lines ever. So I've seen the hardcore end of sales, and I know what I'd like to take from it. I'd like how my guys to behave, moving forward. So I've seen, and obviously, Chops has briefly touched on it because we touched on it at the same time because we're both from Devon. We actually worked for the same company at the same time in our
really?
paths of career.
I love Shots, guys. He's just great, isn't he?
But he's from the same ilk. And there's another motor trader in Plymouth that's a really good friend of mine, Revento Motors. We used to work together. He went and he had an Amazon business where he did a load of stuff online selling iPhones after that. And then eventually when he gave that up, he became a car dealer. But my transition was, I worked for B&Q for quite some time as well. And then eventually I started selling a few cars from home. And my brother always had a car garage. And my parents were like, "Whatever you do, do not be a motor trader like your brother." And I was just like, it was the 9-volt battery effect. It was like, let's go. And then all of a sudden I sold my first car from home. And I was like, it's euphoria. There's nothing else that you can say. You've earned more money in 10 minutes than most people earn in a week of graft. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen? And then you're in. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no greater highs. There's no greater lows. There is nothing out there that supersedes it. it is almost like an addiction. But I think as I've grown a little bit older, I've managed to sort of calm the addiction and make it more functional. But up until about, I'd say 8 years ago, I was just all over the place. I was trying all new stuff. Like I was always trying whatever the latest phase was, and now I've finally managed to sort of calm it down a little bit. But yeah, the phone sales background was a massive help in the beginning, and having a brother that did the used car sales. But
Does your brother work with you now?
no, I even had a little spat where I opened up a dealership with my brother over in Cornwall, which I would highly recommend not working with family.
Yeah, I've got the T-shirt for that one.
So it's not like, don't get me wrong, there's some people, like obviously you say that your dad's involved and he helps out the best that you can. He's got his own aspirations.
He's too busy with his own thing, but we just sit down probably once a month and he's basically someone I have to answer to, otherwise I've got no one to answer to.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something wrong or you go, okay, why have you not sold this? He's like a, what's the word?
Guardian angel.
Non-executive officer or whatever it's called. But he has someone that from a different company, and I think he owns, he did own the Hood of Woodhouse, that he gets advice. It's like a chairman, isn't it? That you have to look up to, otherwise you've got no responsibility.
He keeps you accountable, doesn't he?
That's the word.
Keeps you on
accountable. Yeah, that's the
word. That's the word I was looking for, which I think is fantastic. Otherwise, you just go to work and end it, and you've got no one to answer to, or if you haven't sold as many cars, or or you made less, or made more. He kind of tells me how I've got to work it for the next month. It's just a good thing that we have going on as a father and son.
That's a nice relationship, and I think which a lot of people would be quite jealous of, just because normally when you get involved with families, it can be carnage. Whereas me and Dave are solo flyers. We're basically 10-year-olds with debit cards, like we say when you go to auction.
Do you guys have anyone that keeps you guys responsible? Is it family members or anyone?
Well, my dad died like years ago, but he had his own business, and I've just always had his mindset and that, like, you go out and get it yourself.
Fantastic.
Like, don't rest on your laurels. But what keeps me accountable is like knowing people like James, Joe, all the lads in this like WhatsApp group, other traders. But then sometimes that can be an hindrance. So then you compare and despair.
No, that's the worst thing to do, is compare with anyone.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Massively.
You stay in your own lane. I was speaking to a dealer, and they sell 100 cars a month, and then we went into detail, but he was selling 100 but making less, and I was like, so it's not. It's sometimes it's like I said, it's quality over quantity always, and just stay in your own lane.
You've got to train your brain into, like I've told you, we've only sold 20 last month, but they could have all had $4,000 in them. You know what I mean? They didn't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, I just try and rein it in all the time.
Yeah, as long as that figure at the end of the month you're happy with, that's all that matters, isn't it? Nothing else.
Exactly.
You can only improve it. Then you got to just try and beat it next month. I love that game. I'm going to beat that next month, and then you're like, oh, just gone short. And then you beat it. You're like, yeah, no, I got to do it another month. And I'm thinking, God, I can't.
Being 29, when you're my age, 45, you're gonna be set up.
Yeah. Well, so there's a lot of things I forgot to talk about. So I'm only got this forecourt until possibly the end of this year, which is obviously a big. What am I going to do? But there's a forecourt literally up the road from me. It's just gone up for sale, which is on the end of my road. It's exactly the same setup. So hopefully we're going to get a deal done to purchase that forecourt. So hopefully, because with a business lease, I think business lease, a business mortgage, you only get a certain amount of years. So by the time
20.
I'm 40, I should own somewhere, my own premises, and that's what I'm going to try and aim for.
Do it.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do.
Because that's another thing. The cost of these forecourts to have it on the main road, it's astronomical. I know you think, it's only 5-6 cars a month, but it's not that. It's the other things on top as well.
No.
So you're chasing your tail every month to get that certain amount of cars sold.
If you can buy that, like, just do it.
It halves my payments of what I pay on this forecourt already.
Well, there you go then. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And I own it at the end. I know I'm paying my family now, but I'd rather be paying them than someone else. But
yeah,
I'll own something at the end, which is fantastic.
Do it. Right, anyway, but we're going to have to go now.
Yeah.
Work to do.
Been an absolute pleasure.
You got any viewings, guys? Any viewings going on?
Oh, hang on. Let's have a look.
Just lucky I've got about 10 missed calls on my phone. So
We've
One,
got
two.
Matt next to me sold the 1-2 this morning. He's got a viewing on a Dacia in a minute.
Oh, I love a
He's
Dacia.
spinning around. Matt, are you going to sell this Dacia or what? Where is he?
He's already he's already dipping it, like, mentally. Yeah, we got what 3 viewings, 2 handovers.
Fantastic.
Oh no, 3 handovers. So yeah. Should be nice and busy.
yeah, but,
Stay lucky, everyone. It was brilliant to talk to you anyway.
yeah, you too.
Yeah.
You too. I know we've got like, where can people find you? Your YouTube channel, everything.
Yeah, so YouTube will be back on, Harley Trent socials will be back on, obviously, by the end. I'm sorry to all the people that messaged me saying, where's your next YouTube video? We are back online officially from February. So, and we'll be doing weekly videos.
Brilliant.
But, you know, if you're looking for a car, please give us a call, or give Dave a call, or give James a call.
Legend. Thank you very much, mate.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Cheers for that. Appreciate it. Take care.